Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, today I want to share with you a truth that many of us often overlook. The voice that you carry, the words that you speak, and the thoughts that you nurture within your mind are not mere sounds or passing moments. They are the steering wheel of your life. They determine the path you take, the challenges you overcome, and ultimately the victories you achieve. We live in a world where noise surrounds us. Every day, voices try to influence us, some encouraging, others critical, and many confusing. But the most powerful voice is the one you carry within yourself. The voice you allow to dominate your heart, your mind, and your spirit shapes your reality. If your inner voice is filled with doubt, negativity, and fear, then the journey ahead will feel heavy and discouraging. But if your inner voice speaks hope, courage, and faith, then no obstacle will be too great and no challenge too overwhelming. Think about it. When a person faces a difficult situation, what is it that keeps them going? It is not the absence of difficulty. It is the words they repeat to themselves, the encouragement they give themselves in moments of despair, the inner dialogue that whispers, I can, I will, I must succeed, with patience and faith. This is the power of your voice. It is your compass in the storms of life. You may ask, how do I train my voice to steer me toward victory? It begins with awareness. Awareness of what you speak, what you think, and the company you keep. Your words are seeds. Plant them wisely. Speak positivity, speak gratitude, and speak determination. Remind yourself daily that challenges are not meant to defeat you. They are opportunities for growth. When you face setbacks, let your voice encourage you rather than condemn you. Say, this is a test. I will rise, I will learn, I will overcome. Victory is rarely handed to us on a silver platter. It is earned by those who persist, those who believe, and those who refuse to surrender to despair. And your voice is your greatest ally in this journey. It can either be the bridge that lifts you above difficulty or the anchor that drags you into hopelessness. Choose carefully what you feed your mind and heart. Choose the words that uplift, not the words that diminish. Remember, the voice you carry also affects others. A kind word, a prayer, a sincere encouragement, these ripple far beyond what you can see. When your voice exudes hope, it empowers others to rise. When your voice exudes faith, it strengthens those around you. Victory is not only personal, it is collective. By steering your own voice toward truth, positivity, and determination, you also guide others toward their victories. Never underestimate the small steps. Even a whisper of hope in a dark moment can be the turning point in your life. Repetition is key. Speak life into yourself every day. When you wake up, remind yourself, today I will move closer to my dreams. Today I will persist. Today I will trust in my journey. These small affirmations are like the rudder of a ship. They may seem subtle, but they guide you steadily through the waves of life. My brothers and sisters, understand this. Your circumstances do not define you. Your fears do not define you, and your past does not define you. What defines you is the voice you nurture within yourself. Speak courage. Speak faith. Speak hope. Speak perseverance. Then know that when your voice is aligned with your vision, your values, and your faith, victory becomes inevitable. Your inner voice is far more powerful than most people realize. It is the constant companion that walks with you through every moment of your life, the silent narrator that interprets experiences, and the filter through which you perceive the world. Many people underestimate its influence, thinking that external circumstances, luck, or other people determine the course of their lives. Yet, in reality, it is your inner dialogue, the voice you carry within, that ultimately shapes your reality. This voice is not just a reflection of your thoughts, it is the force that molds your beliefs, your actions, and even the results you achieve. When your inner voice is positive, uplifting, and rooted in faith, it directs your steps towards success and fulfillment. When it is negative, filled with doubt, fear, or despair, it acts as an anchor, holding you back from the victories that are already within your reach. The first step in understanding the power of your inner voice is awareness. Awareness means paying attention to the words you speak to yourself, the thoughts that replay in your mind, and the emotions that accompany them. Often, people allow negative patterns to dominate their internal dialogue without even realizing it. They criticize themselves harshly, magnify their weaknesses, and dwell on their failures. They tell themselves, "I am not capable," or "I will never succeed." And because they hear these words repeatedly, they begin to believe them. The inner voice does not lie. It only amplifies what you allow it to say. If fear is given the microphone, it will grow louder and your confidence will shrink. If doubt is allowed to speak freely, it will cloud your judgment and limit your potential. Therefore, the first task is to become conscious of what your inner voice is saying and recognize that you have the power to change it. Once you become aware, you must take control of your inner dialogue. This is not always easy because negative thoughts are persistent and often disguised as realism or caution. But controlling your voice does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing to respond to challenges with hope, courage, and determination. It means deliberately speaking to yourself in ways that build resilience rather than fear. For example, instead of thinking, "This is too difficult for me," you can say, "This is challenging, but I have the strength, patience, and guidance to overcome it." Instead of dwelling on past mistakes, you can remind yourself, "I have learned from the past, and today I am stronger because of it." Your inner voice becomes the script that guides your actions. When you reinforce positive messages consistently, you create a mindset that naturally seeks solutions, embraces opportunities, and perseveres in the face of obstacles. The connection between your inner voice, CE, and your reality is also seen in the concept of self-fulfilling prophecy. What you repeatedly tell yourself influences your behaviors, your decisions, and the energy you carry into every situation. If you speak fear and doubt, you approach challenges cautiously, hesitate when opportunities arise, and may even unconsciously sabotage your own progress. But when you speak confidence, hope, and determination, you take initiative, embrace challenges, and act with purpose. Your reality begins to shift because your actions are now aligned with your words. The inner voice is like a magnet drawing circumstances and experiences that resonate with the frequency of your thoughts and speech. It does not create miracles from nothing, but it prepares you to see and seize the opportunities that already exist. Faith plays a critical role in shaping the power of your inner voice. Believing in your potential, believing in a higher purpose, and believing that setbacks are temporary strengthens the voice within you. When your inner dialogue is rooted in faith, it becomes a source of courage and comfort even in the most difficult times. You begin to remind yourself that every challenge carries wisdom, every struggle carries growth, and every effort carries reward. Faith transforms your inner voice from a source of anxiety into a source of empowerment. It allows you to speak words of patience, perseverance, and gratitude, knowing that the outcomes are guided by effort combined with trust in what is greater than yourself. It is also important to remember that shaping your reality through your inner voice requires consistency. It is not a one-time effort, but a daily practice. Every day you have countless opportunities to influence your own mindset. When you wake up in the morning, the first words you speak to yourself set the tone for the day. When you face setbacks, the internal commentary you choose determines whether you see them as failures or lessons. When you make decisions, the confidence or doubt expressed internally guides the choices you make. By consistently nurturing a positive, faithful, and determined inner voice, you gradually reshape your perception, your behavior, and your results. Over time, this inner discipline becomes second nature, and your reality naturally aligns with the optimism, courage, and hope you cultivate within. Your voice also has a ripple effect on those around you. When you carry confidence, patience, and kindness in your internal dialogue, it reflects in your interactions. People respond to the energy you project, the calm and strength you radiate, and the hope you carry. Your reality is not limited to your personal experiences. It also influences your environment and the lives of those you touch. By controlling your inner voice, you create not only your own victories, but also an atmosphere that nurtures success, positivity, and resilience in others. Every person has the choice to decide what their inner voice will say. It can be a voice that breeds doubt and limitation, or it can be a voice that inspires courage and growth. The power lies in recognizing that the words you speak to yourself are the foundation of your life, that your inner dialogue is the steering wheel that directs your actions, and that the quality of your thoughts and words determines the quality of your reality. Words that leave your lips are more powerful than most people understand. They are not merely sounds carried by the air. They are expressions of the heart, reflections of your inner state, and catalysts for the life you will experience. Every word you speak carries energy, intention, and influence, both on your own soul and on the world around you. When you choose to speak positivity, courage, and faith, you are intentionally directing your life toward hope, strength, and victory. The act of speaking is not only about communication, it is about creation. You are constantly creating the reality around you with the words you affirm, the sentences you repeat in your mind, and the messages you allow to echo in your heart. This is why learning to speak with intention is one of the most critical skills anyone can develop. Positivity is the foundation of a victorious mindset. Speaking positively does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending that life is free of challenges. It means choosing to focus on solutions rather than problems, on hope rather than despair, on gratitude rather than complaint. When your words are positive, you shift your perspective, even in the darkest of times. Saying to yourself, I am capable of handling this, or every day brings me closer to my goals, reinforces resilience and determination. These words act as reminders to your mind and heart that setbacks are temporary, challenges are opportunities, and your potential is far greater than your current circumstances. Positivity is not naive optimism. It is a conscious choice to align your thoughts and speech with hope. And in doing so, you prepare yourself to recognize opportunities that others may overlook. Courage is equally essential in the words we speak. Life is full of moments that test our resolve, and without courage we can easily be paralyzed by fear or hesitation. Speaking words of courage to yourself gives you the strength to face adversity with confidence and to pursue goals that may seem daunting. When you remind yourself, I am strong enough to overcome this, or I will not be defeated by fear, you are reinforcing an inner armor that shields you from despair and doubt. Courage expressed through words is contagious. It not only emboldens your spirit, but also inspires those around you to face their own challenges. Every time you choose words that declare strength over weakness, determination over doubt, and perseverance over surrender, you are actively shaping your destiny and building a mindset that refuses to be limited by fear. Faith, when spoken, transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary opportunities. Speaking words of faith is a declaration that you trust in something greater than yourself, that you believe in the unseen, and that you are confident in the path that is unfolding before you. Faith is not passive, it is active, vibrant, and empowering. When you speak, "I trust the process," or "I have faith that every effort I make will bear fruit," you are reminding yourself that every action, every struggle, and every sacrifice is meaningful. This spoken faith strengthens your resilience, helps you endure hardships, and reinforces the belief that no difficulty is permanent. Faith spoken aloud creates an alignment between your intentions and the universe, allowing you to navigate challenges with patience, hope, and clarity. The act of speaking positively, courageously, and faithfully also reshapes your internal dialogue. Words are not only expressed outwardly, they reverberate inside your mind, shaping the way you think, feel, and act. When you repeat encouraging words to yourself daily, you create patterns of thought that reinforce optimism, resilience, and determination. This repetition gradually rewires your mind, making it natural to approach life with confidence, hope, and a sense of purpose. Speaking becomes an exercise in self-transformation, a tool to train your mind and heart to focus on what empowers rather than what diminishes. It is also important to understand the ripple effect of your words. When you choose to speak positivity, courage, and faith, you are influencing more than just your own life. Your words affect the people you encounter, shaping their emotions, attitudes, and actions. A single word of encouragement can lift a burdened heart, restore confidence, and inspire someone to take a step they thought they could not take. When your voice carries hope and strength, it becomes a beacon for others, creating an environment where optimism, resilience, and faith thrive. By speaking wisely, you create a chain reaction that spreads beyond yourself, touching families, communities, and even generations. Not practically. Speaking these words requires mindfulness and intention. It requires choosing what you say in moments of stress, confrontation, or uncertainty. It requires actively correcting negative or harmful language, replacing complaints with gratitude, fear with courage, and doubt with faith. This practice is not instantaneous, and it demands patience and consistency. Each time you consciously choose words that uplift rather than diminish, you are reinforcing habits that will become second nature. Over time, your speech and therefore your reality will naturally align with positivity, courage, and faith. The spoken word also bridges the gap between thought and action. When you verbalize hope, determination, or trust, you are reinforcing your commitment to act in alignment with those words. Saying, "I will work through this challenge," creates accountability in your mind, encourages problem solving, and propels you to take the steps necessary for victory. Words are the spark that ignites action. When paired with intention and effort, they create momentum that carries you towards your goals. Your voice is a compass, guiding your heart and mind through the storms of life. When you choose to speak positively, courageously, and faithfully, you are not simply uttering sounds, you are planting seeds of hope, resilience, and victory. You are setting the tone for your actions, shaping your mindset, and influencing the world around you. Every day presents opportunities to speak words that empower, to affirm truths that strengthen, and to declare intentions that move you closer to the life you envision. Life is full of challenges, trials, and moments that test our patience, strength, and determination. No one is immune to setbacks, disappointments, or failures. They are part of the human experience, woven into the fabric of our journey. However, what distinguishes those who rise from difficulties and achieve victory from those who remain trapped in despair is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of self-encouragement. The ability to speak to oneself in moments of difficulty, to uplift one's own spirit, and to remind oneself of inner strength and resilience is what allows a person to overcome setbacks and continue moving forward. Self-encouragement is the internal voice of hope, the reminder that every challenge carries a lesson and that every temporary defeat is an opportunity to grow stronger. When a setback occurs, it is natural to feel frustration, disappointment, or even anger. These emotions are valid and human, but they do not have to define your response or dictate the path you take. The key is to recognize that within you exists a voice capable of transforming despair into determination, doubt into confidence, and obstacles into stepping stones. That voice is the voice of self-encouragement. It is the voice that whispers, "You have faced difficulties before and emerged stronger. You are capable. You are resilient. This too shall pass." By consciously nurturing this voice, you give yourself the strength to rise above the situation, to look beyond the immediate challenge, and to focus on solutions rather than problems. Self-encouragement begins with belief in oneself. Every setback can shake confidence, but reminding yourself of your abilities, your past successes, and the strength you have demonstrated in previous challenges is crucial. Speak to yourself in ways that acknowledge your potential rather than your limitations. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, you can affirm, "I have the wisdom, the patience, and the perseverance to overcome this. I am learning and growing through this experience." These words are not empty platitudes. They are affirmations that train the mind and heart to respond with resilience and proactive energy. When you encourage yourself, you create a mental environment that fosters problem-solving, creativity, and hope, rather than one consumed by despair or regret. Another essential aspect of self-encouragement is reframing the situation. Setbacks are not final verdicts on your abilities or worth. They are moments that require reflection, adaptation, and courage. By speaking to yourself in ways that emphasize growth and opportunity, you transform obstacles into lessons. You can say, "This challenge is teaching me patience and perseverance. It is shaping me into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable." Such self-talk allows you to view difficulties as temporary and constructive rather than permanent and destructive. Each setback becomes a stepping stone toward personal growth, and every failure becomes a lesson that brings you closer to success. Consistency in self-encouragement is also critical. It is not enough to speak words of hope and strength once or twice. Life's challenges are persistent, and setbacks often arrive unexpectedly. The practice of encouraging oneself must become a daily habit, a continuous dialogue that reinforces resilience and determination. Each morning, you can remind yourself of your goals, strengths, and capabilities. Each time you encounter a challenge, you can speak words of courage and hope to yourself. Over time, this consistent self-encouragement forms a foundation of confidence that allows you to face difficulties with composure and determination rather than fear or hesitation. The power of self-encouragement is magnified when paired with patience. Overcoming setbacks is rarely instantaneous. It requires persistence, learning, and steady effort. Encouraging yourself through words, affirmations, and reminders of your resilience provides the motivation to continue, even when progress feels slow or invisible. You remind yourself that victory is not measured solely by immediate results, but by the perseverance, effort, and determination you demonstrate in the journey. By speaking words of patience and hope to yourself, you maintain focus and energy, allowing setbacks to become temporary pauses rather than permanent defeats. Self-encouragement also strengthens emotional resilience. When you face difficulties, the first moments are often the hardest. You may feel overwhelmed, frustrated, or fearful. By intentionally speaking to yourself with kindness, reassurance, and hope, you mitigate the emotional weight of the situation. Phrases like, "I am doing my best and that is enough for now," or "I will rise from this challenge stronger than before," create a sense of calm, clarity, and determination. The voice of self-encouragement acts as a protective shield, helping you navigate emotional turbulence and maintain focus on solutions, growth, and progress. Finally, self-encouragement is not just about immediate victories. It is about shaping long-term character and resilience. Each setback you overcome with the support of your own voice strengthens your belief in yourself, develops patience, and fosters a mindset of determination. You begin to trust in your own abilities, not because life has been easy, but because you have trained yourself to rise above challenges, learn from failures, and continue forward with courage. By cultivating a habit of self-encouragement, you equip yourself with an inner resource that no external force can take away, a voice that will guide you through difficulties, and a mindset that naturally seeks solutions, growth, and eventual victory. Words you speak carry far-reaching power, more than most people realize. While it is easy to focus on the effect your words have on yourself, it is equally important to recognize that your voice has the ability to influence, inspire, and transform those around you. Every time you speak, whether it is encouragement, criticism, wisdom, or faith, you leave an imprint on the hearts and minds of others. Your words are like seeds. Some seeds nurture growth, hope, and courage, while others may plant doubt, fear, or negativity. Understanding that your voice impacts others is a call to speak with intention, compassion, and mindfulness, knowing that your influence extends beyond the immediate moment and the individual, reaching communities and shaping collective energy. When you choose to speak positively, you inspire others to do the same. Words of encouragement, hope, and reassurance can uplift a person who feels defeated, lost, or overwhelmed. Simple statements such as "you can overcome this," or "I believe in you," have the power to restore confidence and spark motivation. People often underestimate the effect of hearing supportive words in moments of struggle, yet these words can be the turning point for someone facing adversity. By cultivating a habit of speaking positively to those around you, you contribute to a culture of optimism, resilience, and encouragement. Your voice becomes a source of strength, helping others to see possibilities where they once saw obstacles. Equally important is the impact of speaking with courage. When you use your words to demonstrate bravery, integrity, and determination, you create a model for others to emulate. Courage is not limited to grand gestures or heroic acts. It is expressed through everyday language, actions, and decisions. When you face challenges openly, speak honestly, and stand by your principles, you communicate to others that fear is not a limitation, but an opportunity to grow. Your courage gives permission for others to confront their own fears and pursue their goals with determination. The voice that reflects confidence and bravery serves as a silent teacher, guiding others to embrace challenges with a mindset of empowerment rather than defeat. Faith expressed through words also has a profound impact on those around you. When you speak with conviction and higher purpose, divine guidance, or the potential for good, you inspire hope in hearts that may be weary or uncertain. Faith spoken aloud reassures others that setbacks are temporary, that effort is never wasted, and that perseverance carries meaningful reward. For those who may feel hopeless or lost, hearing words of faith can awaken belief, restore trust, and encourage persistence. Your voice becomes a source of spiritual strength, helping others navigate uncertainty with patience and confidence. Through your words, you communicate that life's challenges are part of a journey and that victory is attainable when one holds firm to hope, trust, and purpose. Your influence through speech is magnified by consistency. One kind word may encourage a person momentarily, but repeated affirmations and expressions of hope, courage, and faith create lasting impact. Families, communities, and workplaces thrive when individuals consistently speak words that uplift and empower. Consistency in positive speech builds trust, fosters collaboration, and strengthens relationships. People learn to rely on your words not only for encouragement, but also for guidance and reassurance. The voice that consistently inspires others becomes a source of stability, a lighthouse in the storms of life, guiding those around you toward growth, confidence, and resilience. The ripple effect of your voice extends further than you might imagine. Words spoken with intention can influence decisions, spark ideas, and transform communities. Encouragement, given in one conversation, may inspire someone to pursue education, start a project, or confront a personal challenge. NGE, words of compassion can heal emotional wounds, reduce fear, and create a sense of belonging. Wisdom shared thoughtfully can guide people toward better choices and empower them to lead meaningful lives. Your voice is a tool not only for personal success, but also for the collective well-being of those who hear it. By speaking thoughtfully and with purpose, you contribute to the cultivation of environments where growth, positivity, and hope flourish. It is also important to recognize the responsibility that comes with this influence. Words can heal, but they can also harm. Harsh criticism, negative judgments, or careless speech can undermine confidence, create doubt, and foster resentment. The same voice that can inspire can also demoralize if not exercised with care and mindfulness. This awareness calls for a deliberate choice in how we communicate, ensuring that the words we speak are constructive, compassionate, and aligned with the values we wish to promote. By acknowledging the impact of our voice, we take responsibility for the emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being of those we interact with, even in subtle ways. Encouraging words also reinforce the power of connection and empathy. When you speak to others with understanding and kindness, you validate their feelings and experiences. You create space for dialogue, trust, and mutual respect. Your voice becomes a bridge that strengthens relationships, allowing for support, guidance, and collaboration. People are natura, lie drawn to voices that inspire hope, confidence, and courage. By intentionally cultivating these qualities in your speech, you influence not only individual lives, but also the broader social and emotional environment. Finally, the voice that impacts others does so most effectively when it is authentic. People are perceptive. They can sense when words are genuine versus empty or superficial. True impact comes when your speech reflects sincerity, conviction, and alignment with your actions. When your words are consistent with your values and beliefs, they carry power and credibility. Authentic encouragement resonates deeply, inspires trust, and motivates action. In this way, the voice that influences others is not only a tool for communication, but also a reflection of character, integrity, and intentional living. Consistency is one of the most powerful yet overlooked keys to achieving victory in any area of life. Many people desire success, recognition, or personal growth, but they often misunderstand what it takes to reach those goals. It is not the occasional burst of effort, the random moments of motivation, or the sudden flashes of inspiration that lead to long-term achievement. True victory is built slowly, steadily, and deliberately through the daily practice of consistency. It is the repeated actions, the disciplined habits, and the persistent mindset that compound over time to create extraordinary results. Your voice, your actions, and your thoughts all require consistent. Sigh if they are to guide you toward success. And the failure to maintain regularity is often the reason why many dreams remain unrealized. Consistency begins with understanding the power of small, deliberate actions. Every day you are presented with choices that, while seemingly minor, accumulate into significant outcomes over time. Choosing to speak positively to yourself, to encourage your heart in moments of doubt, to express gratitude, and to act with determination are all small but vital steps. When repeated day after day, these actions create momentum. They shape your mindset, influence your habits, and gradually transform your life. Many people underestimate the value of these small steps because they do not see immediate results. Yet, it is precisely the accumulation of consistent effort that produces lasting change and meaningful victory. The role of consistency in speech is particularly important. The words you repeat to yourself, the affirmations you make, and the encouragement you provide internally must be regular and deliberate. A single instance of self-encouragement may uplift your spirit temporarily, but only regular reinforcement will ingrain belief, confidence, and determination into your character. By speaking positive, courageous, and faithful words consistently, you are training your mind and heart to approach challenges with resilience. You are creating an internal rhythm that sustains your energy, sharpens your focus, and strengthens your resolve. The ice you nurture daily is the foundation upon which consistent action is built, guiding you steadily toward your goals. Consistency also develops discipline, which is essential for victory. Discipline is not a matter of forcing oneself through isolated moments of effort. It is the result of cultivating routines, practices, and attitudes that endure regardless of mood, circumstance, or temptation. When your words, thoughts, and actions are consistent, discipline becomes natural. You do not rely on fleeting motivation. Instead, your life is structured around deliberate, purposeful effort. This steady approach allows you to overcome distractions, resist discouragement, and maintain focus on long-term goals. Victory, therefore, is not a sudden event, but a process sustained by persistent, disciplined, and consistent practice over time. Patience is another critical component of consistency. Results are rarely instantaneous, and challenges are an inevitable part of every journey. Without patience, individuals are easily discouraged when progress seems slow or invisible. Consistency teaches patience by reinforcing the principle that steady effort, maintained over time, yields substantial results. Each day of disciplined speech, positive thought, and determined action is a building block. The combination of consistency and patience creates a powerful force, one that allows individuals to navigate setbacks without losing momentum and to continue moving toward their objectives even when immediate outcomes are not apparent. Consistency also fosters trust in yourself and in the process of life. When you maintain regular practices of self-encouragement, positive speech, and faithful action, you develop confidence in your ability to follow through. You begin to trust that your daily efforts, no matter how small, will eventually lead to meaningful results. This trust is essential because it strengthens your resilience in the face of challenges and reduces the temptation to abandon your goals when obstacles arise. Knowing that consistent effort compounds over time allows you to persevere with conviction even when the path seems difficult or uncertain. The influence of consistency extends beyond personal growth. It also affects others. When people witness your steadfast dedication, disciplined approach, and unwavering commitment, they are inspired to adopt similar habits. Your consistent voice, actions, and attitude set an example for those around you, creating a culture of perseverance and determination. This ripple effect strengthens communities, families, and teams, demonstrating that victory is not only a personal achievement, but also a reflection of collective resilience and sustained effort. Consistency also transforms setbacks into opportunities. When you maintain steady effort in the face of failure or difficulty, you are better positioned to learn from experiences, adapt strategies, and continue progressing. Regular self-encouragement allows you to view challenge, NGEs not as permanent obstacles, but as lessons that inform and refine your approach. Each repeated action, every consistent word of faith, courage, or positivity reinforces your ability to overcome adversity. In this way, consistency amplifies both personal growth and long-term achievement, turning what might otherwise be discouraging moments into stepping stones toward victory. Finally, consistency creates alignment between your intentions and outcomes. Dreams and goals are only as effective as the sustained effort you invest in them. By consistently speaking positive words, maintaining courage, exercising faith, and taking disciplined action, you ensure that your internal state, your outward behavior, and the results you achieve are all moving in harmony. Victory is not random. It is the natural consequence of deliberate, persistent, and consistent effort, guided by intention, patience, and purpose.